Okay, so good morning to all. Today we will going on to start the second unit, that is MOSFET circuits. In that we will going on to learn about the transistor working in various regions, that is like a switch as well as amplifier, but it will be with and without feedback. And the last part of this unit, second unit, will be the oscillator. So this unit, second unit, is somewhat small as compared to first. First unit was somewhat lengthy uh, as it needs some prerequisites. That's why we taken some much more lectures for the first. Now we'll try to cover this second unit within the given period only. Okay. So the course outcome from this second unit is design of MOSFET amplifier with and without feedback and MOSFET oscillators for the given specifications. That means you all should be capable to design and develop that MOSFET amplifier. Already that common source MOSFET amplifier uh, we we design during the first unit only, but in this second unit you have to design and develop with and without feedback as well as oscillator circuits. Okay. So this is the course outcome, that is CO2 for this second unit, right? Now small part from first unit was remaining, and that is the W by L ratio, effect of W by L ratio. So during the next lecture, I will take that first and then we'll continue with the second unit, whatever. Today we will be going to start. Okay. So just wait for a few seconds. I will switch towards the blackboard now. Okay. Is it visible? Am I audible properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So before starting directly with this unit, uh, first of all, we discuss what is mean by switch exactly. I will take one simple example. Suppose there is one LED which we have to operate through a switch or conventional switch, or we can call it as a manually operated switch. It will look like this. Either we can close it or we can open. Okay. And there is somewhat VCC, DC source, through the series resistance RS to limit the current to operate this LED. A switch is connected, right? If that switch is closed, then we can say that LED will get turned on. Correct now? Am I right? If switch gets closed, the LED will get turned on, and current through that LED, it will get limited by the series resistor RS shown over there. Okay. Is it visible properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the question is, if I close the switch position I will write here. If it is closed, then LED will be on. Then voltage across switch, or voltage drop across switch, we can say voltage drop across switch is equals to how much? If I measure the voltage drop across this switch whenever it is in first condition, first position, that is in closed position, LED will get turned on, correct now? Now the question is, how much will be the voltage drop across this switch? Already few part of this topic I covered during the prerequisites. correct? So the question is, how much will be the voltage drop across that switch? That switch is in closed position. Two options are there. One is 0 and second one is VCC.
VCC.
Switch is in closed position. Switch is in closed position. That means, see, it will look like this. Now it is closed. It will going on to act as what? A short circuit path, closed path, correct now? And we are measuring the voltage drop across that closed path. If the resistance offered by that switch, R of switch, whenever it is in closed position, is equals to 0 ohm, then voltage drop across switch will be how much? The same I am asking you. It will be 0 volts. What is voltage drop? Voltage drop is nothing but what? Resistance offered by that switch, that is the R switch, into current flowing through that switch. This is I, correct now? As it is in closed position, how much will be the current through it? Current will be finite. It will not be 0, right now? So finite current into 0 resistance. So the voltage drop will be 0 volts. Remember this one. Is it okay? Yes or no? Be fast.
Yes, sir.
And second case, we'll consider if that switch is open. Then how much will be the voltage across that switch? Voltage across switch, it will be now equals to VCC. Correct? Because see, we are measuring the voltage at this node, as that DMM is shown. Correct? That means as the switch is in open state, that means we are measuring the voltage at the VCC with respect to the connected device to ground. That means the voltage across that switch, it will look like somewhat equals to VCC. Correct? Now, ideally, that whenever that switch will be closed, we are seeing it will be going to offer the 0 resistance. But practically, it will not be exactly equals to 0, remember. Practically, it will have a small resistance or few resistance, or it should be as small as possible, correct? See, why that switch resistance, it should be as small as possible. If I replace this switch, closed switch, by its own resistance, I will call it as R switch, resistance of that switch, whenever it is in closed position, okay? If practically that switch offers, for example, that resistance equals to 1 ohm, okay? We take this example. This RS, if it is of 100 ohm to limit the current flowing through this LED, and if that LED drop, voltage drop across LED is equals to, we can say, we take the example of 2 volts, and if it is powered by VCC equals to 5. Okay? By applying KVL to this circuit, whenever the switch is in closed condition, this first condition we are taking. Okay? So by applying KVL, VCC equals to I into RS plus I into R of switch plus voltage drop across LED, that is VLED, correct? So see, you will observe the switch resistance or the resistance offered by that switch, it will go on to decide the drop occurred across it, which is of no use. What is the purpose of switch? In this case, either to close the circuit or open the path, correct now? Why there is need to close or open the path? Because we have to operate this load, right? Whatever voltage drop will occur across that load, that we have to consider, because we have to operate that load. Either that LED to turn on or to keep it in off position, right? So for that purpose, we are using the switch to turn on and turn off that LED, correct? If that switch will have a zero resistance, ideally it is considered as a zero. If it will have a zero resistance, then we can say the unnecessarily voltage drop across that switch, it will get minimized to zero, correct? And if that switch will be going to offer somewhat finite resistance, then there will be again unnecessarily voltage drop. Are you getting it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it visible properly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see what you will do, if you want to turn on and turn off this LED, you will going to purchase a switch from the market which will have a good its properties. Which properties? That means it's on resistance. Whenever it is in on condition, how much resistance that switch offers, that is the important feature we can say, a characteristic of that switch. Okay. Basically, the copper material is used within that switch. If it is of, we can say again, aluminum, then aluminum will have somewhat more resistance as compared to copper material. And that's why the aluminum switch, there will be a more voltage drop as compared to copper. But the copper switch will be somewhat costly as compared to aluminum. Okay. So voltage drop across that switch, whenever it will be enclosed, will be equals to ideally zero, and practically it will be very, very small. Okay. Now, you all are well familiar with the output characteristic of our MOSFET and the DC load line, right? So many times I already taught all these things. So this is the drain characteristic or the output characteristic of MOSFET, correct? For various values of VGS, if this one is VGS equals to VT, greater than VT, somewhat more than VT, and this one we will call it as VGS max. Okay. And we plotted one DC load line also while studying that MOSFET as an amplifier. So this is nothing but the output characteristic. That's why it will be in between VDS and ID. Okay. Already I told this region of operation of that MOSFET is known as what? Ohmic region, correct? This one is ohmic. This region of operation is which one? Saturation region. And VGS less than VT, that is generally known as cutoff region, correct? Now what we have to study, our second unit and its first part, that is MOSFET as a switch. Okay, so this is the topic. So see, whenever we are studying that MOSFET as an amplifier, I told the operating point of that MOSFET, it should be at the center of load line, is it? That means the MOSFET as an amplifier, or whenever it is to be used as an amplifier, the operating point, it should be selected in which region out of these three? Ohmic or saturation or cutoff? Which one? MOSFET as an amplifier. First.
Saturation.
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 Yes.
Saturation.
Yes. It should be in saturation, correct? Why it should be in saturation? Why not in cutoff or why not in ohmic? Because being an amplifier, the voltage across transistor, it should be as large as possible. Yes or no? Voltage across transistor, it should be as large as possible. Why? It should be as large as possible because as we are calling it as an amplifier, the gain of amplifier, ideally, voltage gain of amplifier is how much? Infinite. And practically, it should be as large as possible. Correct? So what is gain? Gain is nothing but output voltage divided by applied input. Okay. So whenever we will going on to obtain more and more output voltage, we can say that gain also will get increased. And practically, it should be as large as possible. Okay. Now see, suppose that operating point is exactly at the center. While studying this DC load line, already I taught how much will be the VDS over here on x-axis. This VDS will be equals to VDD. Correct now? And this one is 0. So 0 to VDD. This is the region of operation, that is saturation region. Okay. So if we consider that operating point at the center, its respective output voltage, that is VDS is equals to how much? Half of VDD. And whenever we are applying that time varying input signal, that output voltage also gets vary like this, between 0 to VDD maximum, correct? Without any clipping. That means we can say we can obtain the maximum output voltage or voltage drop across that transistor whenever it is operated in this saturation region, correct? Now, the next application of MOSFET in second unit, the first topic is as a switch. Already I mentioned it. Okay. As a switch means what? That switch will have two positions, either closed switch or open switch. Is it? I will again draw that the same circuit, that previous one, by considering that MOSFET as a switch. Okay. To operate the LED. That means to turn on or to keep that LED in off state. This one is our VCC. This one is again series resistance to limit the current. Okay. So see, you will observe whenever you will go on to apply a sufficient gate voltage to this MOSFET, it will go on to act as what? Close. Whenever VGS is 0 for N channel E MOSFET, how much is the current from drain to source? This one is gate terminal. You already work out on that. See, my first condition, if VGS is equals to 0 volt, what I am asking, how much will be ID?
Zero.
It will be 0, correct, because no channel will go on to form, and hence current flowing through this MOSFET, that is drain current, that is from drain to source, it will be 0, right? 0 current means that MOSFET is acting as a closed path or open path.
Open path.
Very good, right? That means we can say it is acting as a open switch or off switch. Am I right? Now second thing, if I applied VGS equals to VT, I will be going to apply some voltage at the gate terminal of this MOSFET, correct? That is equals to threshold voltage, VT. What will happen? Fast. Transistor will act as a closed path or open path for the second condition.
Closed path.
Yes, it will act as a closed path. Correct answer. Okay. So that ID, it will not be equals to 0. As we are saying that transistor will go on to act as a closed path, current flowing through that transistor, it will not be equals to 0 now. Right? But how much it will be? It will be very small. See, this first curve I plotted, here I can say by applying VGS equals to VT, current flowing to that transistor, it will be very, very small current, right now? Because a weak channel will be able to form between drain and source, and hence its current handling capacity is also very less, right? Are you agree with this? Okay. In another word, in terms of resistance, how much resistance that device, that MOSFET will be able to offer between drain to source for the same condition, that is VGS equals to VT. 0, infinite, very low, very high. 4 options.
Very high.
Very high.
Yes, yes, and that's why current is very small, correct? Now that very high resistance, if we try to measure the voltage drop across that switch, how much it will be? It will be very high, correct? Now, because it offers very high resistance. See, this much will be the VDS now, correct? It will be approximately equals to VDD because we are applying very small gate to source voltage, and hence a very weak channel gets formed, and hence a very high resistive channel will be there between drain to source, and hence we can say there will be a more voltage drop across it, correct? Now the third condition will take VGS greater than VT. What will happen about this ID? Again, ID will not be 0, correct now? VGS greater than VT, see, this much will be the ID now. I will call this one as ID1, this one as ID2, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Because we are increasing VGS above VT, right? That means more and more number of charge carriers will get accumulated within that channel, and hence we can say the charge density within that channel, it gets increased, and hence we can say its current handling capacity also gets increased, and hence in another way we can say the resistance between drain to source, it will get lower down. Are you agree? And whenever that resistance will get lower down, the drop across that MOSFET, that is voltage drop across drain to source, for this third condition, that is VGS greater than VT, it will get reduced as compared to previous one. Yes or no? See here, VDS, in this case, VDS will be equals to VDD, right? Then over here, VDS just slightly less than VDD, okay, somewhat less than VDD. And in this case, VDS, how much it will be? Again, somewhat more, less than that of previous case. Is it? Is it visible at this end? Whatever I written, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I agree with this. These three conditions. Whenever VGS is equals to 0, ID will be 0, and hence voltage across open switch is equals to VCC or VDD. We will call it as VDD. No issue. Correct now? As per that first example I taken, that manual switch. When VGS is equals to VT, a thin channel will get formed. A small conduction of that device takes place. As the conduction is very small, that means in terms of resistance, we can say that device offers a very high resistance, correct? And as the device have a very high resistance, the voltage drop across that high resistive path, it will be high. Is it? That's why I written here, it will be closer to VDD, slightly less than VDD. Whenever you will increase that VGS somewhat greater than VT, again ID will get increased. It will not going on to remain at 0, but the amount of ID for third condition, it will be more. Is it? That is nothing but ID2, right? Then fourth condition, I will take that VGS sufficiently large than that of VT, again threshold voltage. Again, ID will not going on to remain as 0, but it will get increased as compared to previous case. That means the transistor will be able to operate at this point, and hence this is our ID3. Actual, whenever we are getting that ID equals to 0, that will consider it as ID1, this one as ID2, ID3, and this one as ID4 to synchronize that sequence. Okay. Now the question is, how much will be VDS? Somewhat again less than that of previous case. Is it? You will observe that operating point will get shipped over here and the obtained VDS will be this much. Is it? Are you getting it? And last condition I will take VGS equals to VGS max or maximum get to source voltage. I can say ID will be equals to IDSS or maximum drain to source current, and hence VDS will be approximately equals to, you will observe, see, whenever we are applying VGS equals to VGS max, it intersects our DC load line over here, and hence the voltage drop across that switch will be this much. That is VDS equals to, I can say approximately equals to 0 volt. Not exactly 0. But remember that VDS, it will be very, very small. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So being a on switch or being a closed switch, you will observe by that example, DC load line and output characteristic of this MOSFET, being a closed switch, where it should get operated. Being a closed switch, on switch, it should not be operated in the cutoff region, is it? As well as it should not operate in the saturation region also, because whenever it will be want to operate in saturation region, this LED will get on, no issue. Okay, but what will be the disadvantage? There will be unnecessarily more voltage drop across that switch as per this example. So all these are the levels of VDS or different values of VGS, is it? And finally here we can conclude, if that MOSFET is operated in the ohmic region, the voltage drop across it, that is VDS, is approximately equals to 0 volts, or we can say it will be very, very small. Is it? So being a on switch, where the MOSFET should operate. If I ask the question, being a on switch, where the MOSFET should operate, in which region? Where means in which region?
Ohmic region.
Yes, very good, in the ohmic region. What is the reason behind that? Because in ohmic region, the voltage drop across that MOSFET will be very, very small, and it should be as small as possible, being a on switch. Is it correct? Being an amplifier,
Yes.
where the MOSFET should work. Being an amplifier, it should work in the saturation region, because the voltage drop, being an amplifier, it should be as large as possible, so that we can improve the gain of that amplifier. Gain is nothing but output voltage divided by applied input, right? So being an amplifier, the drop across that transistor, it should be as large as possible, and it will be possible only when that transistor will be operated in its saturation region of operation. This much, is it? As per this DC load line. Okay. And now the last part, if I have to turn off this LED, that means this MOSFET, it should get turned off. It should act as an open circuit. It should act as an open path. Now, transistor, this MOSFET, as an open circuit, in which region it will be possible? In the cutoff region. When that VGS will be less than VT, it will be going to work into cutoff region. Already I written it over here. See, correct? So just remove the gate voltage or make it 0 or make it less than VGS. VGS equals to VT. That transistor will get turned off. It will be going to act as an open circuit, and hence this LED will get off. So simple. So are you getting it? If this MOSFET is to be used as a switch means again two positions. First one is as an on switch and second one is as an off switch. On switch means it should act as a closed path and it will be possible only when, or perfectly closed path we can say, or minimum resistive closed path, and it will be possible only when that MOSFET will get operated in the ohmic region. And as the off switch means it should operate as an open path and it will be possible only when it will get operated into its cutoff region. Okay. Now, to force this transistor between these two regions, how we can force it either into cutoff or into ohmic? It should not remain between these two regions. Between these two regions means it should not get forced into saturation. Whenever that switch is in off, if we have to turn on it, it should get on directly into the ohmic. It should not remain within this region. Correct now? If it remains within this region, that means it will go to operate in the saturation. Load will get operate, no issue. But what will be its disadvantage? There will be a more voltage drop. Agree? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a minute. Huh? I think something issue is there with the internet. Okay. Now we have to force this transistor either into cutoff region or into ohmic region. How it will be possible? For the manually operated switch, it is very simple. Just by our thumb, we can just change its position. Correct? Na? Either off or on switch. But for this MOSFET, what you will do? Think on it. I have to turn on the switch. No one? May I audible? May I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have to on this switch. What I should do? Very simple. I have to apply a sufficient gate voltage. Right now, we can say VGS equals to VGS max. If my VGS is equals to, if I apply, see, what I will do, I will just apply here some pulses, DC pulses. If I apply that DC pulse of amplitude Vt only for time period 0 to T1, I applied this DC pulse. This is a voltage, DC voltage with respect to time. If my DC pulse amplitude is only equals to Vt of this transistor, it will get turned on, no issue. But where it will operate? It will go on to operate into saturation region, correct? If I apply the gate pulse somewhat greater than Vt with the same time duration, this second, where it will operate? Again, still it will remain into the saturation region. It will go on to operate over here. Still there will be a sufficient voltage drop across it, and it should be as low as possible, correct? Then I will apply somewhat greater than Vt, like this much. Again, it will go on to operate into saturation. Now, I will go on to apply a maximum amplitude of that pulse like this for the time period 0 to T1. Can we say this transistor will get forced into ohmic? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So how much should be the amplitude of this gate pulse? Remember, whenever that VGS is greater than or equals to VDD, or we can say greater than VDD, this MOSFET, it will go on to work into its ohmic region. And when that VGS is less than VT or equals to 0, when this VGS is less than VT or equals to 0, where the transistor will operate, it will going on to operate into cutoff region. So simple. Is it? And whenever that VGS is greater than VT and less than VGS max, that transistor will go on to work into its saturation region. So that care we have to take while operating this MOSFET as a switch, as either on switch or off switch. Now see, whenever there is a time period of T1 to T2, again that gate pulse remains 0. That means we can say this MOSFET, it will get turned off, LED will get turned off. And again, the pulse will appear with sufficient amplitude, that is my VGS max, for time period T2 to T3. Again, this MOSFET will get forced from its off state to on state, that is from its cutoff region to its ohmic region. And hence, this LED will get blinked on and off. Is it? The blinking of that LED, or speed of blinking of that LED, it will depend on the frequency of these pulses. Yes or no? Agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the first application of MOSFET under the second unit, that is MOSFET as a switch. Now, second application is MOSFET as a diode or active resistor. MOSFET as a diode oblique active resistor. Now, this term you might have very clear. Active resistor means what? By changing the value of VGS or level of VGS, the resistance offered by that MOSFET is variable, correct? We can say it is a dynamic in nature. The resistance offered by this MOSFET, that is the resistance between drain to source, it is dependent on what? The level of applied input gate voltage. I shown here multiple levels. VGS equals to VT, somewhat greater than VT, somewhat more greater than VT, and VGS max. Is it? Is it clear? So by changing the level of VGS, we can use that MOSFET as an active resistor. Okay. Now the next application is MOSFET as a diode. Diode means what? Is it unidirectional or bidirectional device? Diode? You studied it during your first year, as well as during our prerequisites. I already taught about that PN junction diode. Diode is a unidirectional or bidirectional. Do you know what is mean by unidirectional and bidirectional?
Directional.
Yes?
Unidirectional.
Yes, it is a
Unidirectional.
yes, it is a unidirectional device because current flows only from its anode to cathode terminal. Right? Current can flow from cathode to anode, but that will be after avalanche breakdown and diode gets damaged permanently, or that PN junction gets damaged permanently. And that's why we are saying during reverse bias condition, the diode should be operated somewhat less than its avalanche breakdown. And during that, that is in third quadrant, by neglecting the leakage current, the current flowing through the diode, it remains 0. While in first quadrant, by applying the voltage above its forward breakover voltage, generally for silicon diode, we are considering it as 0.7 volt. So by increasing that forward voltage above 0.7 or forward breakover voltage in general, we can say the forward current flows through the diode, and hence diode is a unidirectional device. Similar to that of diode, if we configure our MOSFET like this, that means its gate terminal, if it is shorted with the drain and if VDD is applied, somewhat DC source with respect to ground. Getting? See what I done, I connected this gate terminal to the drain of that transistor. It will go on to work as a diode. Okay. As a diode means what? In this case, if we try to measure the voltage or voltage drop across this MOSFET, it will be approximately equals to voltage drop across diode. Is it? The applied VGS or applied gate voltage, it is not variable now, it is fixed. How much it is? It is equals to drain voltage. Correct? A fixed gate voltage, that is drain voltage, that is VDD, is applied. Now, that diode, that MOSFET, it will go on to work as a diode. Work as a diode means what? The voltage drop across it will be approximately equals to the voltage drop across diode. See, the same thing, I can draw it like this. If this is the PN junction diode, if here somewhat VDD is applied, and if we measure the voltage drop across that diode, then it is approximately equals to, we are seeing 0.7 volts. Correct now? Voltage drop across PN junction. Correct? So this is known as a MOSFET as a diode. Next application. Clear? Yes or no?
Sir, screen is not visible.
Just a minute. Huh? Is it okay now? Is it visible now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how much part you lost? This one? Shall I repeat it?
Yes, sir.
If the gate terminal of that MOSFET, if it is tied, connected to the drain directly as shown, okay. Now it will go on to work as a diode. That means whatever current will go on to flow, it will be from drain to source in one direction only. Is it? And similarly, how much will be the voltage drop across that MOSFET, that is between drain to source? It will be approximately equals to VD. VD is nothing but diode drop. And generally, the PN junction drop, we are considering it is at 0.7 volts. This is the PN junction diode, right? So just remember here, when that gate terminal is directly connected to the drain, right? Instead of applying variable gate voltage, a fixed gate voltage is applied equals to the drain voltage, that is equals to VDD. The drop across that MOSFET, it will be approximately equals to drop across diode. And it will go on to work in one direction only. That is from drain to source. Current will go on to flow only from drain to source. Is it? And that's why we are saying that MOSFET can be used as a diode. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so our time is also over. So in the next lecture, first of all, I will cover that remaining part. I will prepare that PowerPoint presentation of the previous unit, remaining part, that is effect of that MOSFET scaling, that is nothing but W/L ratio. Okay. And then we'll continue with the same topic and next application of this MOSFET. Under this unit are MOSFET as a current sink and current source. What is meant by that current sink, current source? That also I will prepare and will discuss during the next lecture.